That means you're here.
That's right. And we are talking digital literacy tonight.
Yep.
So welcome everyone. And tonight, let everyone know what we're drinking, Adam.
We will be drinking a red blend from Steelhead Vineyards. We actually got this at Gnarly Head in Lodi? Manteca.
Well, no,
Manteca.
yeah.
No. Yeah, Manteca.
Is that what it was?
Yep. So they had a good deal on this. It was like $70
Right.
for a case. It's for a red blend for that price. It's pretty solid.
It's a decent one
Yes,
for the price.
Yeah, for that
And
price, you're not gonna.
We have a
beat the deal.
student with us today.
Yes, it's the Bandit.
The lovely
Bandit,
Ashley
what
Waters.
did you get in the mail today?
Hold on, let me show you guys.
Oh, okay.
Oscar stuff for the WWE.
Oh yeah, did you get to see Oscar recently?
Yeah, but she lost in her card.
Oh, yeah, she lost to Becky Lynch,
And
the champ. But you got a Becky Lynch shirt too.
I know, I regretted it. And I got Oscar socks.
Cool. That's your favorite wrestler.
That's
If
right.
you couldn't tell.
Hey, Kim Calderon is on Facebook and Twitter. Gotta love that.
After seeing TikTok.
We are talking about digital literacy tonight. But first, the question was, what do you love to binge watch on your favorite streaming service?
After seeing TikTok.
What did I say? What do you think? I don't know.
WWE.
I don't watch WWE. You guys do.
probably like watching
Simpsons.
Simpsons is still in.
that one with the Koreans in Canada.
Oh, Kim's
the-
Convenience.
yes,
I didn't
the
write that one
convenience
down.
Yeah.
Yes. What else?
WWE.
That's what you binge
Yeah.
watch. What about me?
Me.
For me,
You too.
the last few
YouTube.
weeks it's been binge watching The Ranch
Yes.
on Netflix. I love that show.
Watch
Started
me.
watching it when it first started, then I kind of got away from it. I'm so glad I got back into it. I love that show. It's hilarious. So hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Subscribe
Better
to
Call
me
Saul,
and
you
Ariel
put.
on
Of course.
YouTube.
We did do the Marvel marathon. We did every Marvel movie in the
We did,
order,
we did.
in chronological order.
Carlos Fierro.
Yeah, Carlos Fierro. Yeah, he's real happy right now because the stupid Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
My friend's happy too.
Yeah, you have a Chiefs fan for a friend?
Yeah.
I think
All right.
Jody.
Yeah, Jody's here. Bulldog Jody.
So Ashley, we're talking about digital literacy tonight. So like you were talking about like YouTube. Do you think it's important that people know that kids know how to use YouTube?
Yes.
Why?
Because
Besides watching fun things, what else can you do on YouTube?
learn
Yeah,
You can learn
learn
things?
how to do anything.
Okay.
how to play Minecraft.
But you don't just watch YouTube. What else do you do?
Scroll.
What do you do? What do you do when with you and Ariel?
Oh,
Aren't you
make
on it too?
YouTube videos.
Yeah, you actually
You guys
create
make the
stuff.
videos.
Yeah.
That's why we got the new computer, so you guys can actually
So
make videos.
is that helpful to you as a growing person who's learning? All right. So question 1 just dropped and it says, what does it mean for students to be digitally literate? And why is this important?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead, man. You say something?
Well, this is a question that I've been asked actually. I've been asked by some English language arts consultants lately. It's something that I used to talk a lot about, like back in 2014. I did some work on this and
Kobe Campbell.
did some
Normal students.
presentations about it and such. Because back then people would say, oh, you're all about technology. Well, so like, how does someone become digitally literate? And they all thought that it meant using a tech tool. But digital literacy means so much more. So like when you look at the American Library Association, which Katie McNamara would know all about, they talk about digital literacy is more than just using tools. It's about like finding and curating information and then creating content and communicating with content. Honestly, I was looking at it again, the definition just yesterday. And you know what I saw in there, Adam? The 4 C's. Like basically you need to be using digital media and digital tools To engage in the 4 C's. That's it. That's essentially what
That's
the
pretty
definition
much,
was
that's
saying.
pretty much what my definition is.
Yes, go ahead.
Without- Slenzy? That's right. So for me, kids to be digitally literate means for them to know how to be creators with tech and not passive consumers. So in other words, they know how to use tech as a tool and not really an avenue for their entertainment. So that's kind of pretty much going along with that definition that you came up with.
It's also about safety. Like,
Yes.
do they know how to be safe online? Because that's a big issue, right?
Pick your nose.
Huh?
She was reading Uncle Raw's.
There, I'll go around one
I ate it too.
Yeah, I think that digital literacy also involves like digital citizenship.
Yep.
Like, okay, so Ashley, when you are online, what are things that you should not tell people?
Address, phone
Correct.
number, school.
Mm-hmm. Should you say your real name? I mean, if it's a friend of yours, like we already said is okay, like Jazzy or like family and things, that's
Miles.
different.
Yeah.
Like Miles, yes. But people that you don't know, what if they say they know you? You gotta check, right? Like check in person, like, hey, is this your account? Right? Yeah. See, Ashley knows all this stuff. She knows.
You guys are looking at the screen.
We're not looking at the screen, you said?
We're trying to.
Hi, Jazzy.
Oh, Jazzy's here.
Hi. Play Roblox with me tomorrow.
There you go.
Actually, I'm gonna play right now.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
All right,
I'm
we have
gonna stay in the thingamajigger
on
room.
Twitter from Visalia, we have Dominique.
Oh, nice.
She's a grade 1 and 2 teacher. And she says she likes to watch dubbed or not dubbed dramas from Spain or Mexico. She's currently watching Fleabag on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Les Dieterstein from Southern California says he's been watching Rick and Morty. So him and Dylan would get along.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So for question 1, Kim Calderon from Fresno says students as creators of content as well as conscious consumers of content.
Right.
I said don't be passive consumers. She's like taking that to the next level. So yes.
Mm-hmm.
In everything, I try to get my students look at things with an objective eye and gather all the evidence before making decisions.
Hey, Judy Blakeney's here.
That's right. Yep, grading papers. Yeah,
Yep,
I
it's
called her
live.
I called her on Twitter. She shows up on Facebook. All right.
Hey, that's good stuff. Dominique is here. She did some Flipgrid stuff today. She
Okay.
tagged me on a tweet. I done a little
Jazzy, play Jazzy
I
with
done
me.
I done a like one of those quick tips I do, just like a
Yes.
GIF. And so it's just like using the whiteboard to explain math. Like it was like a second grade example, and she teaches first second combo. So she used it today and tagged me, and Flipgrid themselves, she tagged them, and they were like, "This is awesome." So good job, Dominique. That's good stuff.
So I had a minor edu win today.
Okay.
I'm at lunch, sitting down for like 10 minutes, trying to scarf down my lunch, and I get a notification on Twitter. Someone had tagged me in a tweet. I looked, and it was Sylvia Duckworth,
Oh, nice.
and she's like, "Oh my God!" She's responding to someone else's tweet who was tweeting about sketchnoting,
Okay.
and this lady from Singapore
Signal.
has using the sketch notes that I posted for my students the other day to teach teachers in Singapore how to sketch note and teach their students how to sketch note. So Sylvia saw it and saw that she shared my link, and she assumed, "Oh my God, you must work with Adam."
Oh, wow.
No, she works in Singapore, but it was nice that
That's pretty cool.
she responded and says, "No, I wish." She did say that, so that was a nice little pick me up. It was a pretty intense day today with
Mhm.
running around and getting stuff done and rearranging my schedule. So that was made my day. So again, okay, we have Les Dieterstein from SoCal, from Murrieta, not too far from the wine country down there.
That's always a
In
good thing.
Temecula, we're right next door. For question 1, he says, I feel digitally literate students are the ones who know digital citizenship and are the ones you're able to use and instruct others on proper digital use. Well done. All right. Did we talk about Dominique yet?
Well, this is a new answer, so you can talk about that one.
All right. Well, Dominique says that students are digitally literate when they understand how to use tech to learn new things and can independently use embedded tech tools to enhance their learning.
I like how she says independently because she's a primary grade
Yep.
teacher. And so a lot of teachers that either teach primary or coach teachers that teach primary and haven't taught it before don't realize how much young students can do independently. Do they need a lot of coaching? Do they need a lot of scaffolding? Yes, but there's so much that they can do on their own. So I love that she said that. Judy answered here on Twitter as well, as far as being digitally literate and why that's important. So she said that it's important for students and teachers to be discerning and understand how to read a variety of textual sources, including digital ones. That's true. And that is in the standards, by the way, if anyone cares about that. I'm just saying, I mean, we are asked to teach that. So question 2 dropped as well. And question 2 says that during election season, fake news is common. Would you all agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
So the question is, how might we guide students toward analyzing fact versus fiction when they view digital resources? I'm kind of thinking that it's one thing to view and analyze a digital resource and determine if it's fact or fiction, and that's really important. But I'm also thinking, how cool would it be to then have kids like create their own news, and like a peer would have to determine if that was fact or fiction.
I've done this. I mean,
That'd be cool.
I've done this in history classes before, where we had, for example, like I'm actually going to teach a lesson tomorrow, so this kind of works right into it.
Oh, cool.
On the Treaty of Versailles
Okay.
and Paris Peace Conference, where the treaty was signed, and in that you have, World War I is over, Europe is destroyed, everyone's blaming Germany, but pretty much the big players in the treaty, the United States, France, and Britain, all have different aims of how they want to go about the same thing. So, the French want some revenge on the Germans for that. So it's understandable, since they took the brunt of the fight from Germans. The United States wants to do it a real peaceful way. Let's try to end war completely. We try to be the peacemaker. And then England wanted something different. So it's the same issue, but 3 different viewpoints.
I like that.
And so just doing activities like that will kind of get kids to see things from different angles, and then they can then kind of better determine what's fact, what's fiction. Anything you can do with teaching them about bias.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, John Krippos here.
Hey, don't laugh at my ancestors. I am part French, John. So.
Hey, so am I.
Me too.
Yes,
so's Ashley.
So I know we found out that John is Swiss. I'm gonna have to fact check that. So I know
Is that fact or fiction?
I don't know.
Is that fake news?
He did say something about him being of Swiss origin. I'm gonna have to do some 23andMe or some Ancestry.com research on this guy.
So I like Dominique said that her students are young. She teaches primary, but even so, she still says that they have had conversations about where they can rely on getting factual information. So talking about fake news, even when we're talking about digital or tech, I mean, typically digital because it's the more current, even if they're not yet readers, so to speak, as far as reading text, they can still have those conversations about fake news. I think too of Be Internet Awesome, which does digital literacy. And when you play those digital literacy games, it will say things like, you got an email that says, click here and you'll get $1 million. Do you believe it? And so I feel like that's kind of a way to get kids to understand that too. So nice.
Pretty much.
All right. So Sarah Vandermeiden is here tonight. She is lives in Dinuba, works in Goshen, which is basically kind of a suburb of Visalia.
Not Egypt.
Right. So she says she teaches second grade, and she says I think we have to consider relationships as the way tech has changed language. In order for students to be relevant to their peer group, they have to be literate, and relationships can't be discounted. She was going back to question 1.
Yes.
So I think it's a good point that digital literacy is really important now because kids are going to be online. They're going to be on social media. We had a lot of conversations. I was at a middle school today. There were a lot of conversations about TikTok.
Yeah.
And I feel like I need to learn more about TikTok.
Actually,
Because yeah, that's right. Because I feel like I want to be able to relate to the kids, and I need to be more digitally literate with that. Can you tell us about TikTok?
Yes, please.
See, she was doing the moves, the dance moves. I see the kids doing this. That's what they all do. They all do this. Yeah, and when they're doing Flipgrid, they do these things.
Yeah.
This is a TikTok thing I need to learn more about for sure.
Kim Calderon for question 2 says, in science, we always focus on looking at multiple sources and looking at who the source is. I extend this to all other topics. Excuse me, with my students, gather all your info and make an informed decision. I mean, with the students I serve, you want to get their attention, you just say one word, Trump. I gotta say it's Trump, and they're listening.
Yeah.
I mean, so honestly, I could have pulled a 5-minute clip of commentary about the recent State of the Union address. I could have pulled it from MSNBC. I could pull it from Fox News, and then right there we have a, it would be kind of hilarious to see I think I know which side they would probably gravitate towards, but two different perspectives.
Okay, so John Kripo's comment works really well with question 3. So I'm going to read question 3, and then I'm going to read John's comment.
Okay.
So question 3 is, digitally literate individuals utilize media to communicate and connect with others. What tools or platforms do you use to encourage students to practice safe sharing of content? So this is a real thing that there are, the world is full of people that are sometimes not nice. And as Kripo says here, you can't stop the bullies, but you can teach kids how to block the bullies. So they're not going to, let's be honest, are you going to win the war of getting a kid to not be on social media? Do you really think you can do that? What do you think?
Nope.
No.
Battle you can win.
No. And so instead, teaching them safety is so important. I remember when I first heard George Couros speak at the very first ever Tech Rodeo, by the way, which John Kripo was at this year. This year was the 4th annual. Super excited about the next one as well. But anyway, he talked about, there was a student who said, you have to, so what did he say? The student said, social media is like water. You can either teach us how to swim in it or watch us drown. Mm-hmm. So it's everywhere, like water's everywhere. And so kids have to learn how to navigate in these waters. So I may have misquoted a bit. I was paraphrasing there, but you get the idea. So Karen Mensing from Phoenix is on the Twitters as well. She says a big part of digital literacy is understanding cybersecurity. This is, I think, an under-addressed issue. It's in the computer science standards, by the way. I'm just saying the cybersecurity portion in California was bolstered from the national CSTA standards, I'm just saying. But anyway, she said students need to understand phishing scams, social engineering, and other common risks. Very, very true. I think that is a great point, and I'm glad that I'm going to say great point to Karen and say glad you are here with us tonight. All right. So Kim Calderon answered on here, and she said she loves Flipgrid to create that safe sharing space and Google Sites as a repository for created content. Both offer the security of being only shareable to certain groups. I agree. I've had more teachers open now than like in a couple years ago to using platforms such as Google Classroom and allowing kids to post in the stream, or allowing Flipgrid, allowing kids to reply to each other and see each other's videos and stuff. A couple years ago, did you have this, Adam, where teachers were very hesitant about that and scared that it was going to get out of hand and they were going to be unsafe and do all of these things? And it's like, they need a safe place to practice this. We as educators need to teach kids how to be appropriate online. So anyway, yeah, that's a good point. So Caripo says he hears quotes that 60% of people have been bullied online, but he feels that 100% of people have been bullied in real life. So, Karen's a YouTube star teacher.
Ooh,
I've never been bullied.
You've
never
been bullied, Ashley?
Good.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, so, for me, I had a kid the other day said something very rude to a friend on Google Classroom. and I don't know, this came out of nowhere. I mean, I've heard of these guys. They're juniors. They're 16. I know how guys talk to each other. But he typed it on Google Classroom. It was meant for his friend. Somehow it was a private comment on the assignment that I was grading him. And I'm like, really? I go, you can't delete this. And what you're saying, the verbiage you used is very offensive. I mean, I'm not gonna take offense to it, but I'm like, I showed the everyone. I screenshot it. I said,
you didn't say which kid it was.
No, I put him on blast.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I go, listen, I'm not going to use this against you, but it could. This can come back to get you.
Correct.
And I tell the stories of two professional athletes right now. Basketball player Dante DiVincenzo for the plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, and there's also Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. Both of these guys, pretty much right before they got drafted, when they were like 14, 15 years old, had quoted some rap lyrics that had offensive language, racist language in there that people of their skin color probably should not be using. And it hurt their draft status. Like Josh Allen still was a high draft pick, but teams were hesitant to draft him based on like, how could this disrupt our locker room? Yeah. Same thing with DiVincenzo, the basketball player. He dropped big time in the draft. Great player, but how that affects you. So I use that moment. I go, what you said here, no one's going to get mad at you for it because, it's among friends here, and I'm not going to put you on blast. I'm not going to send you to the principal. I'm not going to do that to you. But,
teachable moment.
And it was done in Google Classroom, a place where he can make that mistake.
Yes.
And I can catch it, and I can teach him about, how this can affect you. So it's
what was interesting today? So I'm at you become an adult and you have a work email account. You've got work, computers and stuff. You got Wi-Fi. A lot of people, even as adults, like, do they even realize that they need to be careful what they're searching for on their work computer, right? Like, this is a real life skill, okay? So I was talking to middle schoolers today. These were, I think, 8th graders. Typically, when I ask this question of young kids, like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th graders, I get this answer when I say, hey, who owns this Chromebook, you or the school? The school. And then I say, who owns your, school issued, who owns your Google account, you or the school? The school. This entire class said, we do. It's my Google account. And I went, whoa, that is not your Google account. I have an account through work that's not my account either. So like, this is a real life lesson. Like this is not yours.
Yeah.
This is owned by the school. You can't be out there doing a bunch of personal inappropriate stuff because the school could see it.
To 6th graders every August.
Yeah.
Everything you see or everything you do on your account,
even if you delete it,
I can see from my phone.
Yeah.
You can't delete your Google Hangouts.
Right.
I had some about 3-4 years ago, some 6th graders who are actually my sophomores now. They were sending poorly drawn pictures of rocket ships through Google Hangouts, and of course I had to bust them. And they said they were jokingly. I mean, I get it. Kids are bushy boys. Do things like that to each other.
Right.
But they sent it to the wrong kid who was offended by it.
Sure.
So I pull it up. I tell them I can track you, block you your whole account from my phone. I jokingly tell them I can be on the toilet and block you with my phone and show everyone what you've done. So there's consequences to it. Like we always say, it's not a digital footprint; it's a digital tattoo.
Yep.
Right, because you can't run from it. You have to do a lot of damage control and apologizing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really go away even with all that. So it's yep. It's like Karen Mency just says right here. Is kind of what I just said on Twitter. She says nothing can really be deleted. It's such an important lesson.
That's right.
It's such an important lesson.
But they don't know that.
Yeah.
They don't know that. I was shocked that these 8th graders didn't realize that I can go to Virgin History and look at absolutely anything that you have deleted. Now, let's be honest, do I have the time to do that? No, but they didn't even realize, that's digital literacy right there. Yep. That's important. So Garibo says that they take pictures of district filter and show them on a Prezzo. Nice. They think the internet comes from the sky. It's just always there.
Yeah.
It's just everywhere. Isn't the internet everywhere?
It comes from satellites.
It does in many cases, yeah.
Sometimes.
Especially in places that are out in the country.
Actually, he's quite the scientist.
So we have Les Dieterstein. He says he likes to use fake Twitter, fake Instagram, fake Facebook assignments to help encourage kids to be kind, corny, but workable. Yep,
That's actually a good point.
I've done some fake book ones. It was for the we did a fake book exercise where the kids had to do 5 fake book posts from a perspective of an Enlightenment thinker.
Oh, that's
The
good.
best ones came from the kids who got assigned to do Voltaire. Voltaire, I can imagine Voltaire in social media was around in his time.
I think Raul needs to learn about digital citizenship right now.
I've had many conversations with Raul about the profile pics that he chooses and the.
Well, he said something that could be considered offensive.
It could be
Because you're buds,
yes.
you're great friends, but like, John Cripple might not know that you're great friends, and he might think that's offensive to Adam.
Yeah, John Cripple gets offended very easily. He's a snowflake. He's offended by
You
everything.
just could have offended someone right this moment, Adam.
I don't know, man. I don't know these
You
snowflakes.
offended Johnny's dad.
Charlie's dad doesn't get offended.
Yeah, I think that's.
No.
Anyway, question 4. Did question 4 not drop yet?
Not yet.
Oh yeah, it did. It just did. Okay, so question 4 says,
Let's refresh.
Your hair smells bad.
Your hair smells bad. Thanks for putting me on blast on Facebook Live, Ashley.
digital literacy, actually, digital citizenship. Excuse me.
Don't put your dad on blast.
Okay, so
Look, so
hey, we control the Wi-Fi around here. Question
No.
4.
I can block your Chromebook right now from my phone.
That's right.
Little missy.
Okay,
No.
okay. So question 4.
I haven't seen it yet.
Digital literacy. I don't know.
There it is.
Digital literacy empowers students to curate and create content. How might curation skills lead to higher quality creation? What do you think of that question?
It's a loaded one.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean,
So,
I've
go
had
ahead.
some success with curating myself, for the students. But the trick is now to get them to do it. That's the end goal.
but the question is, how would getting them to curate information help them with higher quality creation?
Hold on, dude.
If I know how to curate content,
Mhm.
will my creation of content be better?
Oh, of course.
Okay, that's
Because
the
there's
question.
no truly original idea. If you're curating content, you're picking and pulling from a variety of
So
sources.
you're saying you're remixing.
You're innovating.
But so here's the reason that I asked this question is because a lot of people, and I'll be honest, I did this when I first started using technology in the classroom many years ago. They have kids go straight to the creation stage too soon.
Mhm.
Too soon's the wrong phrase. They go to that creation stage and they haven't really shown kids how to even identify like what's quality, like what's out there, like what if I go to a multimedia, if I go to the internet and I look up some multimedia resources, like what do I as a person, what am I drawn to? Like how do I make sure that my Google Slides don't look awful? Like how do I, Kripo does his worst slides ever,
Mhm.
and breaking the rules and everything. It's that kind of idea. Like if we don't teach kids to curate this, then I think that they're still, we hear a lot about like, you got to create, not consume content, right?
Mhm.
And I used to say that, I admit, I used to say that. But I think that if we don't know the reality is we consume content all the time,
Yeah, but the difference
but are we
is,
consuming the right content and are we doing it thoughtfully and are we actually
yeah,
curating it?
well, it's passive versus active consumption.
Yes.
Passive consumption, you're not curating, you're just taking everything
Right.
at face value and whatever. Active consumption, you're having that critical eye,
Mm-hmm.
which is definitely a skill that kids really need to develop.
I think curation prompts metacognition.
Yes, definitely.
I think that phrase is enough right there.
Yep.
That's what I'm going to tweet.
There we go. So we have Karen Menting from Phoenix says the sheer volume of digital information available often makes it so difficult to find what you need. Curation in the digital world isn't frivolous, it's an essential skill. Well said. Sarah from Danuba says, the more time I spend with someone, the more I pick up their mannerisms. The same as curating. Spend enough time with the topic, it synthesizes with you in order to produce a product that builds on assimilated prior knowledge. Damn. We have Dominique from Visalia says, to be honest, this is my first discussion about curation skills, but I think promoting curation skills would encourage students to organize their thinking and learning in a presentable and effective manner.
That's a great point. And she teaches first, second.
Yep.
So I think that makes
Judy
sense.
Blakely from Orange County says, curation gives you more perspective and tools. If I know more about what others have done, now I have more options and examples.
Yeah, I think it helps, like you were saying, it helps with that innovation process.
Yes.
Right? So I would agree.
What's up, Andrina?
Is that chocolate all over her face?
My mom gave her stuff earlier. So.
Oh, yeah, she got spoiled by grandma.
Yep, you didn't get spoiled by mama.
Yep.
Mom.
Yes.
All right. So actually, this was the last question because we have 4 questions now.
Mhm.
And I think it was a pretty good chat.
Yep, very robust.
Thank you, Ashley. Ashley, you want to say goodbye to everyone? Thanks,
Goodbye,
Ashley,
Bandit.
for bringing in your insight, your perspective.
Do a quick TikTok dance.
Yeah, because you helped us talk about TikTok.
Yeah, think of one.
Hold on. Candy bars. I want candy bars.
Well, maybe we'll.
Okay, did you want to have that or no? It's too late?
Yeah, that's okay. She
Just
didn't have
one?
anything for dinner. That's fine.
Okay.
She didn't have anything with dinner. So.
Any juice?
Nope, so that's fine.
All right. Well, thank you,
Well-
John Purple says good chat. We've enjoyed your insight as well.
Of course.
And as always, and we will see everyone next week. Same time, same place.
Mhm.
Twitter and typically Facebook as well. Always on the Twitters, many times on the Facebook.
That's right. Peace out.